we are excited to unveil the third edition of the One Amazon Coffee Table book, highlighting key investments and initiatives in entrepreneurship, in digitization, in exports, job creation, and sustainability, all while aligning with India's vision of a digitally empowered and sustainable future. And for that, and also to hear from him, it's my great honor to invite on the stage here at Amazon Smbhav 2024, the Honorable Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh, who's Union Minister of State, independent charge for Science and Technologies, Earth Sciences, has many key portfolios in the Prime Minister's office. Multifaceted leader, Dr. Singh is driving India's advancements in cutting-edge fields like space exploration, atomic energy, and climate sciences. Dr. Singh, it's a pleasure to have you with us. If I can invite you on the stage. I'd also like to request Susan Pointer, Vice President, International Public Policy and Government Affairs at Amazon, to join us on the stage. Hi, Dr. Singh. How are you? Good to see you. Hi, Susan. If we could have a couple of copies of the book. Sir. Thank you so much, Susan. Dr. Singh, I'm going to request you to please say a few words.
Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you, Vikram, for getting me over here. Nice to see such a huge, vibrant audience. And pleasure to have met the Vice President for the first time. And of course, Amit, Chetan, and the entire Amazon team is there. I have been, if not a very consistent, but periodic partner of the journey from time to time. But I've had the opportunity to see them grow and move on from one level to the other and become a part of every household in India. So I think that's been a very gratifying journey over the last few years. I'm also glad to be associated with the release of this book that we saw just now. And I must say that your endeavors associate you with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Viksit Bharat journey of 2047. In the last 10 years, India has moved in strides from fragile 5. We are now first 5. We hope to be rank 4 soon. And then move on to the 5 trillion economy at rank 3 in next couple of years, maybe by 2027, 28. And to that extent, I can say that the declaration of Amazon, I was going through this book, for an additional $15 billion by 2030, building an additional already invested $11 billion is also going to be an important contribution to the making of the 5 trillion economy of India. And when you very appropriately give the theme of Naye India ki Nayi Raftaar, and truly so, because someone belonging to the fraternity of science, we've been taught not to speak without evidence. I think there's enough evidence to justify this theme. When we came in 2014, the total number of startups in this country was hardly 350, 375, or maximum 400. And when the Prime Minister from the ramparts of Red Fort in his Independence Day address gave a call for Startup India, I know how many of the countrymen actually could figure out what it all meant about. So vague, ambiguous, and distant was this concept in India. But see, what a miraculous journey it has been. Today we stand at rank 3 in the world ecosystem of startups. From 350, we are now almost to 1.75. We have among the largest number of unicorns. And even if you see sector-wise, for example, in biotechnology, we were just 50 startups in 2014. Now we are nearly 9,000. And I think not much of effort, not much of not only innovation scientifically, but also innovation in thinking has gone into this, and also innovation in policy planning and in reforms. And I think the biggest instance of that is the space sector, which functioned behind a wheel of secrecy for nearly 60, 70 years, and as a result of which we just had a single-digit startup there. We introduced the new space reform just about 3 years back. Space was opened up to the private sector, and now we moved on to almost 300 space startups, some of them of global potential. And the first generation of these space startups are already turned into very lucrative entrepreneurs. And that's because this government had the conviction and the courage and the capacity to take out-of-box decisions, to break the taboos of the past, because this was something nobody had asked for, nobody had imagined for. Everybody was reconciled that the space sector has to function in confidentiality as it had been functioning all these years. But now, some of the media persons here would bear me out. For each launching, we have not less than 1,500, 2,000 media persons and about 5,000-10,000 spectators at a place which was actually forbidden till about 3 years back. So what I'm trying to say is that this government is very much forthcoming in partnering in such endeavors. We are very open to the public-private participation. That skepticism between the two sectors is also done away with. And some of the recent success stories have given India a place of esteem in the world arena. And we have enough evidence to say that no longer we are being led, we are also ready to lead. And I think the easiest example is that, for example, television, Vikram would bear me out, happened in America way back in 1950s. That famous presidential election of 1960 where John Kennedy turned the tables on Richard Nixon was a consequence of a TV debate. But here in India, we got to see our first Chitrahar somewhere in 1970s. But it's no longer so. No longer so now. We are among 5 or 6 nations in the world who have launched a formal quantum mission. We are the first in the world to have come out with a DNA vaccine for COVID and also made it available for the other countries of the world. We are among the first in the world to have come out with a bioeconomy-related biotechnology policy called BioE3, which means biotechnology for economy, biotechnology for employment, biotechnology for environment. Because it's a considered view of the economists all over the world that the next industrial revolution is going to be bioeconomy-driven, just as the last one was the IT-driven in the 1990s. And India has already taken a lead, moved on in that direction. And therefore, and of course, as far as artificial intelligence is concerned, we have already come out with an India artificial intelligence mission. We are also into the global partnership in AI, which is called GPAI. And that makes me personally also gratified to see this Smbhav hackathon happening, which is actually a synergy of Startup India, NIF and SITE. And I personally believe, and I'm sure everybody else would also bear me out, that if we have to move on from here, we have to move on in integrated fashion. So it has to be whole of government, it has to be whole of nation, it has to be whole of society, it has to be whole of the world. And if we have to reach that pedestal of 2047, we have to live up to the global benchmarks, we have to follow the global parameters, we have to follow global strategies. And when I see the team Amazon announcing $350 million Smbhav venture fund, I think that is something which is going to enrich our collective journey towards India 2047. So to that extent, I have to compliment you, I have to thank you, and also assure you that we are there to move on together to our common destination of Century India 2047. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Amazon संभव, नए इंडिया की नई रफ्तार।